Strangely enough, I have grown nostalgic for the time back in the early 90s, late 80s, when you'd be rolling in your car, DWB, driving while black, and the police would roll up behind you, pull you over, do the random check, maybe sit you down on the ground, snatch everything out the car, or just ask you some questions. And if you were smart, you was yes sir and no sir. And if you was a little stupid, you might be, what the fuck, man, blah, blah, blah. And they'd be, oh, like that? Get the fuck out the car. And you were about to take ass whooping. Let me be clear. They would beat your ass, but they wasn't going to shoot you. They beat on Rodney King for 4 or 5 minutes, but it never occurred to them, let's just kill this motherfucker. Nah, they whooped his ass, they stomped his ass, but they let him live. Nowadays, they shooting at kids. Okay? Now, you would take that ass whooping, be late for a function, a barbecue or something. They roll up. Wait, man, where you been at, man? Barbecue started at 12. It's 3 o'clock. What's going on, man? Oh, man, I got stopped by the police. Word? Ass whooping? Yeah. How you do? Oh, bruised rib, man. I bust my nose, but I'm good. Cool. Beer? And that was it. Every brother I know got a story like that. But they alive to tell that story. Nowadays, they shooting the kids. Because like I said, back in the day, they was 6'2", eyes are blue, scared of nothing. Now, they 5 foot nothing, 100 and nothing, scared of everything, shooting at anything. It's fucked up. I know you know. We were trying to figure out why that is, and there's a whole lot of factors that go into why that shit happened. Years of this, some of that, but not the least of which, or an ingredient that does matter, is there is now an African-American president with a Muslim-sounding middle name. Now, for the people who lean towards ignorance and racism and anger and hatred and violence, this is a reason to do shit. This is the end of the world. They done turned the world over to a nigga. The rapture is upon us. Satan is in the White House. So they start stockpiling on canned goods and ammunition and guns and just waiting to have it out in the street. Here's the good news. He was not crowned king. He was elected president. And in a few months, he gonna pack his shit and leave the White House. So brothers, collectively, we can breathe a sigh of relief, because that hatred fueled by the fact that a black man is running the country is out and end. Here's the bad news. We are going to have a woman president. And I don't say it's bad news because a woman president will not be an effective president. I happen to think that Hillary Clinton will do just as good a job or bad a job as anybody who's ever been the president. If I'm being honest, I would rather have had Elizabeth Warren be president, because I don't have a problem with a woman president. I think she'd do a great job, but she don't want nothing to do with it. So we got what we got. But that anger and violence and hatred that used to be racism doesn't burn out. It converts. It converts to misogyny. Now, let's be clear. Women in college campuses are already getting raped like it's a sport, and ain't nobody talking about it. Nobody gives a damn. When Hillary becomes president, you can count the days. Just like when Barack became president and they said racism is now over, it's all good, some asshole will say to you that inequality between men and women is now a thing of the past. You can count the days till that shit happens, knowing that it ain't even fucking close to that. I say all this to say this. Violence against black men is part of our history. Violence against women is part of our history, not just nationwide, but historically speaking throughout this planet. So when she becomes President of the United States, violence against women will take an uptick. Now, this is something that I would love to be wrong about. I would love for us to look back on this video and go, boy, you wasn't even fucking close. That would be wonderful. But I feel that's not the case. If you think there's a chance that I'm right about that, I would like for you, men folk, stand behind the women in your lives. I have a mother and two sisters that I don't talk to all that much. But when I do talk to them, I don't want it to be about this. I don't want to be because they told me that somebody to beat them up just because they're women, because they were running on some rage shit. I don't want to hear that story. So men out there, stand behind the women in your life. Stand beside them, and if need be, stand in front of them. Now, I know there's plenty of women out there. I don't need no man. I don't give a fuck. We're going to do it anyway. Those of us that give a damn. When your people separate, then when she on her way home, drive her home. Ride home with her. Don't have her send you a fucking text when she gets home or whatever. Call me. I want to hear your voice. Tell me you straight. You got time? Make sure the women in your life are okay. Because a lot will not be. And understand something. The fucked up shit that happened to us, it was specific to this. It was this. But for women, it will be worse. Because it won't be specific to this. It won't just be black men getting their asses kicked. It won't be us at all. It'll be black women and white women and Asian women and Scandinavian and Slavic women. And you know it's going to be Middle Eastern women. Everybody is going to suffer the burden of irrational rage. Now, like I said, I want to be wrong about this. But if you think there's a chance I might be right, I don't always say this. Please share this. Get the people in your life prepared. Because the brothers that got shot, all them youngsters, they didn't see that coming. They didn't know why that was coming. I would like for people to understand that there's a possibility there's a storm coming and to prepare themselves accordingly. Because on the road to history, America is in the weeds. And all I'm really saying to you is, watch out for that tree.